This is the robotic course. We have divided into 3 main levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. Here we need to take methodical approach. This concept very important. Just loading piece of code onto a robot and moving the robot forward, backward, and making specific tasks to complete is not going to teach student anything. They just become admirers, not innovators. Here our main aim is to raise innovators. Therefore, methodical approach is must. The age group is very important. A child to write a program, code and control a robot, at least they should be in grade 6 with understanding, not just uploading piece of code to ready-made robots. So they become admirers. Once we showed them this is the robot, this is the programming code to use, and they can load those programs onto robot, and robot will complete the specific task. It is like playing with a toy. So therefore this concept is very crucial. Methodical approach is needed. So in level 1 we are not going to teach any programming concept. We expose them to learn each and every theory and practical in detail: voltage, power source, what is AC DC concept, how to select voltage value, how this current and voltage related with each other, what is the series and parallel connection. So in depth we will be using a breadboard and jumper wires, and we will be implementing circuit for them to understand each and every point clearly, because they should be able to design a robot on their own, not just loading programs onto robot. So here you will be covering everything needed to know about the electricity. Very good understanding is must if they need to implement a robot on their own, because here our approach is not just introducing this robotic and electronic technology. We are providing an opportunity for them. Even after completing level 3, they can go to next levels with real robotic technology. So therefore methodical approach is crucial. Then we will be teaching them motors for robotics. How to select motors, what type of motors are used in robotic purpose. All these things will be teaching in detail. Then we will be implementing motor circuit and teach them how to move a robot forward, backward, what is the technique used to take left turn, right turn. All these things practically they will be learning with hands-on practical training. Then we will be teaching them different types of walking mechanism. Now when you take a motor, The function of motor is just providing a rotation. But we need to teach them these things very clearly. The motor is just provide left or right rotation, but we can implement different kind of mechanism. Same battery, same motor, but we need to apply certain logics. So one by one they need to learn. Creativity and imagination, very, very important. Most of the time we are neglecting. In childhood education, it's very, very important. Most of the time we run behind academic score sheet. But this period, IQ development is very, very important. So here we are mainly concentrating, focusing to develop IQ level gradually with the technology, because we have to introduce some kind of interesting program, then only they will involve. At the same time, that program should teach and raise their IQ level. There will be building projects after they learn all these theories and practicals. Then we will be moving to project building. So here they will be designing project with LEDs. They will be designing electric car on their own, and will be designing 6 robots, different forms of walking mechanism. So in each and every robot they can practically implement and learn how this mechanism moves the robot forward. What is the difference between these mechanisms? So one by one they will be learning. So here, even in level 1, they will be learning theory to move a robot forward on their own, not just loading program and moving a ready-made robot. So once they complete level 1, they will have a very good understanding about the electricity, motors and the movements, how these logics are used. Level 2, even here we are not writing any programs. Here we will be mainly focusing on sensors. We will be teaching everything related to sensors, types of sensors, how these sensor signal trigger specific tasks, how we can use these sensors, how to interface these sensors. All these things they will be learning in detail. The next, motor controllers, how to control motors using motor drivers and shields. So we need to understand this operation. We can implement many logic. Here we are not writing any programming code. So at the end I will show you why we are taking this approach. Level 3 only we will be writing programs. They need to understand all these logic boards theories. So here then the level 1, this is the main reason we need to target certain age group as well. Here the lot of logic involves. Same type of motor, same type of logic board, but we will be implementing few robots with different logics. After learning the logic board theory, they should be able to implement those robots on their own. So they need to understand the theory very well. So we have to provide a specific controls. So how this sensor read the signal, one sensor read, how the sensor signal is triggered the motor driver, how we should connect these cables to apply this logic. So likewise we will be learning everything related to these motor drivers and shield and you will be implementing 5 robots. Then you will understand these theories very well. Now, using the same sensor and the robot, we have implemented 5 robots. We have implemented 5 robots. So then all these theories and everything with hands-on practical they can learn. Then we will be introducing programming here. The reason in level 3 we are mainly focusing on programming. Here we are not going to control any hardware devices. Here we will be teaching them coding algorithm, how to use coding loops. Here they will be getting a very good understanding about programming algorithm and loops. Then level 3 they can easily start writing programs according to the requirement. So here we will be covering all these programming language, because there are plenty of programming languages, but it is useless just learning programs. 1 or 2, but with very good understanding. Once you learn C and Python, even other programming, the algorithms, the loops, using method, everything will be same. Only the coding statement, syntax, those things only vary. So therefore we need to create a strong foundation, not just learning many programming languages. So these two more than enough. Then later we can update with all other programs. So here the C programming and Python programming with hands-on practical, they will learn everything, algorithm, loops and everything with very good understanding. Then we will be teaching embedded system logic board architecture like Arduino, Raspberry Pi. So we need to understand this architecture very well. Then after learning program, then only we can write programs to control hardware devices. So C programming is a software, but after learning this C programming, we need to compare this programming with microcontroller ID, because here we need to make certain changes. That's the main reason. According to the logic board, according to the microcontroller, the IDE programming method also change, but logic will be same. So here, after learning all these programming methodology, so we can see here how we can apply this programming knowledge with this embedded system IDE. So directly you can't use. According to the board, certain instructions will be changing. Here we are focusing all about this. Then introduction to ESP32, it's very, very important, specifically when we are dealing with IoT projects, very useful. Then we will be learning MicroPython. Now this is actually under Python mini program is introduced specifically for hardware devices. So therefore it is a very powerful program to control hardware. So therefore after learning Python programming, we can easily catch up this concept to control hardware devices. Then we will be moving to sensors and wireless communication, because wireless communication is very, very important in real world robotic control. So we'll be learning all kind of wireless communication with microcontrollers and how this wireless communication can be used to control robots. Then under project build, hands-on project building. Now here one thing we need to understand now, for example in level 2 we didn't use any programming code to control hardware devices, mainly focus on sensors and logic boards. For example, we need to understand the programming importance. This approach is very important. Then only they will understand the real importance of programming. Now for example, in level 1 we will be implementing obstacle avoiding robot. So there we can control only one specific task, that's all. For example, we are designing the robot to take right turn. Whenever it meet an obstacle, it will take a right turn. Only one specific task. In level 3, we will be using the same robot with piece of programming code. We can have more functionality there. For example, we can write a program to control the robot. When an obstacle is met, stay a little, get back, turn the head left and right, then take the turn. And we can use a sound as well. Now these are the additional things we can do using programming. With sensors and logic boards, they can implement, but there are limitations. This is the main reason programming is very, very important. We can reduce the size. Scaling is crucial when designing embedded system. So otherwise, without the programming, many components need to be connected. But using piece of code, we can eliminate all these additional components and we can add more functionality. So we'll be covering everything: voice control, gesture control, object recognition using OpenCV, right? Then security cameras, robot arm, Internet of Things, and more. So to do on your own, you have to have a very good basic understanding. We need to create a strong foundation. So once you cover level 1, level 2 and level 3, you will be getting a very clear picture about robot movements, programming, sensors, everything. We can go beyond this level. Once you complete this, you can sit for internationally recognized certification provided by Arduino. The first certification will be junior certification, age group is 14 plus, and the second certification will be Arduino certification. So once you sit for the exam and pass, you will be getting a certificate straight away from Arduino. Then you can proceed with diploma in robotics, and UG in robotic as well. So there we need to learn mathematics, matrices, all these kind of thing, but we are providing a path. So continuous, unbreakable approaches must in these kind of studies to have very good understanding and achieve your goal. IQ development is very, very crucial. Parallel to your academic education, always we need one kind of activity to develop the IQ level. Grade 3 to A level, this period is very crucial, but most of the time we are missing out this point. We are only concentrating academic mark sheet. Nothing wrong in taking good results for academic subjects, but we should not neglect the IQ. It is very important. We can't neglect. Intelligent quotient is very, very important. So now it is very clear in all our courses, computer technician, network administration, robotic engineering, we are providing a methodical guidance where you can continue until you graduate. The pathway is provided. Even in networking, robotic engineering, after you complete all these courses, in further studies, we definitely guide you. So this is the main key here. Once you connected with us, you need to satisfy. Once you get satisfied, then your journey is clear. Without any fear, you can go to highest level. That is the main focus here. Now I think even all other certification course, Cisco, Microsoft, CompTIA, we are not just focusing on certifications, we are always focusing on skill development. Even here you can obtain Arduino certified certifications. Once you cover all these 3 levels, you will be getting a hands-on training, practical training, and at the end you will definitely become a junior robotic engineer, because you will be getting an ability to design a robot on your own, not just writing piece of code and operating a robot. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.